one question I have while people are collecting their thoughts, I'm assuming that 15 minutes is just right still, given people's schedules. But if there's interest to bump it up to 20 during the summer, that's something that we could talk about as a group.
I find that I've done this kind of mindfulness myself just as a relaxation, but I often find when these thoughts interrupt, I do try to go back, but sometimes those thoughts really need to be addressed in themselves. So sometimes this is kind of a way that I can get more in touch with myself and understand that I've been putting things off, whether it's, getting better in a relationship or just addressing, some kind of practical decision I have to make. So I find it both beneficial, but also something that makes me think harder about, where my life is going.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a good point. The things that come up that we call distractions during meditation may be important, right? The reason why they come up may be because they do need to be addressed. From my perspective, I would say notice them, sort of let them go to the side during the meditation, but if possible, sort of stay aware of them so that you can address them. But there are different ways to meditate, and so it's quite possible to meditate on an event that happened that you feel needs addressing. We could use that perhaps as a focus for future sessions. Anybody else have an observation or a comment?
I like what Dr. Spar said, because I feel like at this point in our lives, everyone's so deeply introspective, and maybe that's a good thing. I know personally, like, I've been a ball of emotions for 2 weeks. You've all seen it, and I'm not shy or embarrassed by it, but I think it's like important. And I feel like these moments make you pause and think and contemplate in ways we haven't done before. So maybe that's why some people like myself get so emotional, because I mean, I don't know how to explain it other than that. I mean, so that was a good way to look at it, I think.
So in the same way that thoughts can come up as distractions but still be important, I think emotions that come up can be seen as distractions, or again can be seen as real needs. For some, meditation is the opportunity to sort of, again, put them aside and get a break from them in some ways, but that doesn't mean that they go away, that they're not going to come back after the meditation. From a social sciences, sociology, psychology, or from my religious studies point of view, it's fascinating to think about the effects of this huge experiment that we're going into, where so many people have at least an opportunity to be more introspective, whether they're doing that or not, or what the effects of that will be, is anybody's guess. Anyone else want to share something?
I took myself outside because the rain stopped. Here in New Jersey, it was raining earlier, pouring actually. And I wound up concentrating on a hydrangea bush that I'm looking at. And the interesting thing was, I remembered that last year, this damn bush hardly had any blooms. And it was frustrating both of us. Like, when the hell is this thing going to bloom? And this year, it's exploding, literally exploding. So I was looking at it. I'm still looking at it while I'm talking to you, because there's just so many blooms, and some of them have gone from this purplish hue to this pink hue, which is like a very unexpected surprise. Two things came to mind. The first was that, this is my daughter-in-law's favorite flower, and these were the flowers that we used at my son and daughter-in-law's wedding. So It brought me back to a very, very happy place as far as a memory goes. But the other thing that I started to think about was that, you know, this bush was basically kind of dormant last year. And I feel like many of us are somewhat dormant this year. So this explosion of blooms, will this happen in us, you know, in our growth as human beings? You know, will we take on different hues? Will we become more beautiful as a result of this dormancy? I know that's like really schmaltzy and, you know, all kinds of whatever you want to call it, but that's really where I was going. Like, can we bloom like this hydrangea after a year of being somewhat still? You know, and my hope, you know, and the bush gave me hope because it just looks so beautiful. I can't imagine that we're not going to be like that in some way.
I think that's great. I think that's a very positive place to be in, and certainly the coming months will need us to be growing and blooming in all sorts of new directions. And hopefully there's joy in that, despite all the challenges we face. Anyone else want to jump in? And so my hydrangea is just beginning to open up, not as big as yours. So it seems like a lot of people are still in perhaps a contemplative, introspective place, which is great. So on the question of do we keep it at 15 minutes or 20 minutes, Tim, would it make sense to set up a poll by email, or is there a tool that we can use? I don't want to do it right in the moment because people should have a chance to think about it and look at their schedules. You know, and I think either way is fine. But I thought since we've been doing this for a while, let's at least consider that option, if that's okay.
Yeah, I think that'd be great to consider. I can put some kind of poll together and send it out in an email.
Okay, thank you.
That'll be good. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah, totally. And just I was being not a great host. I saw that Dylan had raised his hand earlier, but I'm on an iPad, so I wasn't familiar with that format. But so Dylan, if you had a comment, please feel free to share.
Yeah, it was just it was just kind of like a passing comment. I was just gonna really just touch on like how in parts, because it's been a little bit of a while since I've joined the Zen Zoom, so I wanted to give it a shot again today. And it was difficult because posture and all that. I had trouble like keeping my posture and together. My breathing, I think I was able to really get into that zone, that focus. But again, it does you do start to wander very, very easily. But I think I was able to come back again to that focus. But yeah, it was just a passing comment, so no worries.
Thanks for sharing, Dylan. And because I've got it in tile view, I didn't see the hand either. So apologies on that. And I think it's great that you've come back. And yeah, it's always a challenge. Whether you've been doing it steadily or you're coming back to it after a while, whether you're starting out at meditation or you've been doing it for decades, right? Practice is still practice. So if there are no further comments, maybe let's leave it there.